We've got to stop this process. We've got to stop this unsavory sausage making, Chicago style, that's been going on. And we have to sit down and open and honest negotiations with the American people and fix the health care problem, which we can do together.
Senator McCain yesterday on the Senate floor. He's joining us now here in the Situation Room. Senator, you're very passionate about this. Do you believe the Democrats' vision of health care reform for all practical purposes right now is dead?
I don't know, because I don't know what's going on again, behind closed doors here in the Capitol and in the White House. So I don't know, but I know how the American people have spoken, not just in Massachusetts by electing Scott Brown, but across this country and in my home state of Arizona. They don't like the product and they don't like the process. They don't like another $2.5 trillion debt on the American people, and they don't like this backroom dealing which rewards senators at the expense of other American citizens in a way that is the worst I've ever observed.
Because of the special gifts, if you will, for certain states as a result of the vote?
Oh, it's terrible. The Louisiana Purchase, the corn husker kickback, the Florida flim flam, all of these special deals that were cut in order to get votes. It's unsavory and it's wrong. And the Democrats started out by excluding us from any meaningful negotiations, and they ended up in a situation where they were doing special favors for votes which the American people soundly reject, which after the president had promised transparency.
I'm familiar with the Louisiana deal and the Nebraska deal. What's the Florida flim-flam?
Well, there are several 100,000 Florida enrollees in certain parts of Florida that are in the Medicare Advantage program. Senator Nelson of Florida put in a provision that basically exempted them from any reductions, which is about a $4 billion deal. Medicare Advantage is very popular all over America, including my state.
So this is the legislation as it now stands would only be for the benefit of people in Florida? Is that what you're saying?
That particular sweetheart provision, yes.
Is there an opportunity now, if the president, he sort of signaled this week after the election in Massachusetts, that he's ready to scale back his vision, at least for now, become a little bit more practical? Do you see the possibility of working with President Obama and the Democrats and coming up with health care reform that all of you can agree on, something, let's say, more modest?
Only if we went back from the beginning. This legislation, as it's been crafted, cannot get the support of Republicans. We'd have to go back to the beginning and start at square one and include things like medical malpractice reform, going across state lines to get the health insurance policy of your choice, many fundamental common sense provisions which would reduce the cost of health care.
Yeah, yesterday was the first anniversary of his being president of the United States. Today is the first day after that one-year anniversary. What has impressed you most about President Obama, and what has impressed you least?
Well, he remains an articulate, persuasive leader. He is well respected around the world, in many parts of the world, and he works very, very hard at his job. I least respect the fact that there has been a total absence of bipartisanship, which he promised the American people. There has been no change in Washington. And, of course, because we haven't worked together, we still have the terrible unemployment situation in America, job losses that continue at 10% unemployment, which is really, really causing people to hurt all across this country.
He says he tried to reach out to the Republicans, but effectively they said no. You just blame him for that lack of bipartisan cooperation?
There has been no instance that anyone can cite where we sat down across the table the way that I have sat across the table from Democrats for the last 20-some years, where we said, okay, let's work this out together. There's never been that. What they have done is they propose legislation and then try to pick off one or two Republicans.
Because he says on the issue of the banks, for example, the economic recovery, the TARP money, he went to the Republicans. He urged them for some cooperation, but even on before that meeting, John Boehner, the Republican leader in the House, had issued a press release saying he was opposed. And so he said they went in with a mindset that he obviously was not happy about.
Well, again, if he had, along with the Democratic leadership, sat down with Republicans and Republican leadership across the table and said, okay, what do we need to do together, I think he might have gotten a more positive response. The legislation, whether it be the stimulus package or whether it be omnibus spending bill with 9,000 earmarks in it, or this latest health care, have been dictates from the majority on the belief that they had 60 votes and really didn't need us. I hope that that will change.
Has he ever called you over the past year and said, John, let's talk, let's work this out?
Never.
Not once?
No.
A quick question on gay marriage, because your wife, Cindy, has now come out with a photograph saying she supports gay marriage. Your daughter has long supported gay marriage. You don't support gay marriage. How's this working out in the terms of your family life?
I've long opposed gay marriage. I believe in the sanctity of marriage is between one man and one woman, and I supported Proposition 8 in California. I am privileged to have independent, spirited members of my family. It makes for a very interesting conversation around the dinner table. I respect their views, but I disagree with them.
Senator McCain, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Senator John McCain from Arizona. We'll continue our coverage of what's happening in Haiti. Lots happening right now. We're going back to Port-au-Prince after this.